Chapter 264. Surely you can't mean me? In response to his question, Kishir's lips curved in what was, thus far, the most complex expression of emotion. Yudhir fell silent, at a loss for words. This made no sense. He wanted to believe he had misunderstood, but Kishir's gaze gave no room for error. It clearly indicated that he had chosen Yudhir. Is it because of the peculiarity of my abilities? The voice that emerged after a considerable pause was the most rigid and coarse he had ever been. I recall clearly that I assured you my abilities would not hinder the mission. Indeed, you did. Then why me? No, I beg you to reconsider. My presence here would be far less helpful than by the side of the commander and the others. I request that you consider which would truly be best. Kishir didn't know how badly this mission could turn if handled improperly. In his previous life, numerous members, including Gakane, perished during a subjugation mission. If the monster's abnormality exceeded their capacity to handle, Kishir might experience another crisis. Adding to that, there was a chance that Prince Ajane may not return to his homeland alive. Without him, how could all these possibilities be mitigated? Merely imagining all the bad things that could happen without him there, Yudhir's heart tightened and his pulse quickened tremendously. No matter how many times I think about it, my conclusion doesn't change. This is the best course of action as I see it. Yet, Kishir's voice remained infuriatingly calm. But I don't know much about magic. Knowing or not won't make much of a difference. Wouldn't it be better if you and Kana stayed together instead? The mages will never let their guard down around me. Even after you just spectacularly broke down Mikran Pant's guard, you are saying this? Yudhir knew that he could never outtalk Kishir, but never before had this fact been so frustrating. Grinding his teeth, he mumbled at Kishir. I can't sit by idly while something might happen to the commander or my comrades in my absence. I am not that submissive. At that, Kishir let out a short laugh. Without seeing his eyes, it was hard to gauge his emotions, but the laugh was oddly sweet, ill-suited to the situation. What if I wanted you to do exactly that? It was an unbelievable request, but incredibly, Yudhir's protest lost its force before that smile. He attempted to speak a few times, but his mouth was immobile as if it had been struck in a vital spot. To suppress his churning emotions, Yudhir bit his lower lip and lowered his gaze. And as if he has been waiting for that moment, Kishir's lips moved slightly. The one who can become the sign of the greatest faith to the mages, the one who is confident to protect the many here and priest to Luzon alone, and the one who can perceive something extraordinary amidst the events here. There is only one person who can do that, Yudhir El. Only you. In this world, there was only one man who could command Yudhir El, and that man, now more than ever, called his name with a clear intention. His gaze gently swept across Yudhir's face, heavy with anxiety. At first glance, his eyes appeared calm and composed, but Yudhir then realized that the fragments of emotion hidden within did not reflect the same tranquility. Remember the version of yourself that agreed to leave someone here, because you trust the abilities of your companions. The statement hit Yudhir like a splash of cold water. As Yudhir's face twisted slightly, Kishir offered his final composure with a soft voice. 3 days. Endure for just 3 days. If we don't return within that period, you are allowed to act freely. It was a statement akin to a final notice. Yudhir was forced to accept the fact that he could no longer persuade Kishir. Leave Yudhir and priest Luzon here, and just us proceed? Kishir, having made the decision, immediately informed the rest of the group. The members appeared surprised, but soon accepted Kishir's decision. No one seemed overly scared by the fact that Yudhir was not accompanying them. Upon finishing his business and returning, Ydir tried not to let his anxiety show as he relayed the same information to Mickalin. Fortunately, whether his efforts paid off or not, the old mage did not find anything odd about his expression. If there was another mission that needed attention, then it can't be helped. But to venture back into the Great Seven Forest with just a handful of people during this time, are you sure it's a good idea? It's fine. Yudh's eyes were darker than ever as he responded, as if engraving the promised 3-day period into his mind. You certainly have unparalleled confidence in your abilities. I'm sorry I can't be of much help, given our circumstances. Your words alone are more than enough for me to feel gratitude. Then let's leave the details of our cooperation for when your group returns. And if you need anything before your group departs, feel free to ask the passing mages. Priest Lusan was slightly surprised by the fact that only he and Gidar were left while the others headed their destination. However, he quietly expressed gratitude towards Kishir. For him, it was more rewarding to stay by the side of those who needed his divine power than to laboriously move within the Great Seven Forest. Let's have a quick chat. During the brief preparation period before heading back into the Great Seven Forest, Ydir followed Ajane, who had discreetly called him outside. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. Yes, I didn't either. While Ydir thought he knew Kishir well, a man as unpredictable as a chameleon, he had only seen the man's lively and gentle side in this lifetime, and thus didn't expect such a blow. After hearing Yidh's response, Ajahn fell into a brief silence, tilted his head, and asked in a soft voice, "So, is this the last time we'll see each other?" "I suppose it is. Life really makes it hard to predict even a step ahead. This situation made me realize that more than ever. But for some reason, this time, it wasn't entirely unpleasant. Perhaps because I have seen and heard many things in a short time that I hadn't considered before." Taken aback by the unexpected statement, Yidhir lifted his head towards Ajahn. All he could see was a portion of the long silver hair that spilled out under the large hat, but he could nonetheless sense that Ajahn's voice had transformed into a surprising calm. "However, contrary to your advice, what I learned was not from observing others. The true key, as always, lies behind the door." Puzzled by the cryptic statement, he lapsed into silence, but Ajahn did not immediately offer any explanation. "It's a pity. I wanted to watch you a bit longer. Thank you for your kind regard. It's not flattery. You have given me something even the best teachers could not." It seemed like a suggestion to learn how to keep good talent by observing Kishir, but somehow the young prince's conclusion seemed to return and settle again on an interest in either. "Please save those words for when you have truly obtained what you desire after departure, and share them with those who follow you. I wonder if that day will come. Do you think it's really possible?" The jocular yet humorless question pierced his eyes. Yidhir imagined Ajahn's expression, hidden under the hat. Likely, he was wearing the bitter expression he had seen by the well on the rainy night. But something had definitely changed since then. The Ajahn of that day seemed wrapped in self-loathing, without the inclination to observe his surroundings. But now he seemed to have regained a leisurely state, longing purely for something other than power. "Do you remember what I said to you before? With the cavalry, you will surely be able to return safely to where you wish. And then, one day, the opportunity you desire will certainly come. Please do not forget the words I have given to you then." "The opportunity I desire?" Ajahn muttered quietly. "A few days ago, I would have thought that opportunity would be absolute power or strength. Strangely enough, now I don't feel so good about thinking that way." Maybe that's what he was trying to tell. He still didn't fully understand it though. The prince murmured such and looked up at the sky. "If it's all right, I would like to consider you a close friend. Would you permit me?" That was the most unexpected question he had heard since meeting Ajahn in this lifetime. In his previous life, he had wished to return something to the one who had given him a final opportunity in any way he could, but he did not expect to hear these words.